Santa Monica, God of War's creator, is going a new direction with a new IP. This team is huge, so we're probably getting some sort of God of War being worked on at the same time. But this is the first new IP by Santa Monica in over 20 years. Santa Monica has brought us all the God of War games that we've had over the years, especially the new God of Wars that we got, God of War and then God of War Ragnarok, which was a breath of fresh air with the series. I know some people didn't like it, but majority of people, myself included, thought God of War has been absolutely amazing. The depth of the storytelling, the depth of the character development, just chef's kiss. 100% chef's kiss. So with Santa Monica making a new IP, and this getting kind of leaked, if you will, by an employee, I think putting it on their LinkedIn or whatever, mentioning it in some obtuse way, this means we are potentially either going to get something that is absolutely amazing because it's going to be a new first-person IP, story-driven game, which they're known for, or this could be, and I'm hoping not, this could be a live service game that Jim Ryan had forced them to make. I'm hoping that it is the single player story, something that is driven that way instead of the live service game, because Sony is not great at those. And I know that they're trying to push into that realm, especially under Jim Ryan. But with them announcing it now, I'm hoping that it's kind of coming out. I'm hoping that it is more of a story-driven game than live service, because we see how Concord is being received. It is utter trash. And yes, I know that this is the first game that this developer is making, but nobody wants it. Nobody is excited about it. It's a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff with some Valorant and Overwatch shoved in there. So people are not excited about it at all, even though there's no battle pass and this, that, and the other. Like, people are just not looking forward to Concord. And then we had the Last of Us multiplayer get canceled out of nowhere after, we're getting some images and we're getting, several different things about the game, and then poof, it is dead and gone. And with that all being said, this could be something great, or it could end up something like Bethesda with Starfield. I know some people like Starfield, but it underperformed compared to what the expectation was, because Starfield was the first new IP in over 20 years for Bethesda, and it just did not perform the way they wanted. Yes, they are making bigger DLCs. We're getting Shattered Space in September, but a lot of people are just not excited about it. Like, they are not, in the groove with Starfield. So with Santa Monica working on a new IP, this is what I want from them. They've made Twisted Metal, they've made God of War, they've worked on several different projects as kind of a consultant. I want something that is story-driven. I would love to see something that pushes storytelling, because story is king, in my opinion. I love gameplay. A good gameplay mechanic is awesome. It's a game. But if the story isn't there, I lose interest quite fast. Even if it's like the most visually appealing combat there could be, I'm not interested if there is not a good story attached to that combat. It's just not my thing. And God of War was the perfect blend of combat and story. So it being a new IP, it's not going to be linked to anything in Sony's pantheon of games. It's not going to be a new Siphon filter. It's not going to be a new twist in metal. It's a new intellectual property. That's what that means. So we're going to be getting something that is totally brand new, fresh to death. So I would love to, I know it's going to be probably a few years before we see anything of this game, but it really depends on who is directing the game, who's writing the game. I don't think it's going to be Cory Barlog. I think he's working on the next God of War series, which we know we will be getting in some shape, form, or fashion down the road. But maybe something that is not necessarily tied to mythology. I think mythology does really well, but you don't want it to be, oh, well, this could have been God of War. Oh, well, this doesn't live up to the hype. It's got to separate itself from that. I feel like if they go the puzzle adventure route like Uncharted, it's just going to get compared to that. So maybe they go with something totally out of the box. Maybe it's a first-person shooter, because the only first-person shooter that we've gotten from Sony is what they bought, which was Bungie, with Destiny. And yes, they're working on Marathon, which will be a live service game. But what if we actually got a first-person shooter that was good? Killzone never lived up to expectations. Like, Killzone was not great. And first-person shooters are hard to do. Maybe another third-person shooter that has a really good story, kind of like Gears of War. I don't know. I feel like that is kind of an easier one to get into. But I know Santa Monica is really good at third-person action. So I don't really have a wish, because it's a new IP. I don't fully understand where they're going to go with this. I don't think they go with like a Japanese style game, because we already got that in Ghost of Tsushima, but we don't need another one. Let them cook over at Sucker Punch. Maybe when they say new IP, I don't feel like it's tied to another intellectual property. Like, I don't feel like it's doing what Insomniac is doing with Spider-Man and Wolverine. I feel like it's something brand new. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments. What do you want to see Santa Monica make? What is your ideal game? Like, you can give me some story ideas. You can give me like gameplay thoughts. Like, do you want something that is more like God of War where it's third person? Do you want something that's first person? Y'all let me know down in the comments. I'm excited for Santa Monica's new game. First time in 20 years we're getting a new IP. So y'all let me know down in the comments what you think.